at Taco Bell. I'm like, we don't need to have a conversation. I can say number 7 and then I get my food.
That's the problem.
They have to know like the
say siete. 6, 7.
So you guys
And welcome back to the Riley Black Project. Crystal and John.
Hey.
What's up?
Same old. Maybe.
Same old?
I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
we're
just
busy.
a lot
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. So stay tuned to the life update to find out what we got going on.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by
Katie with Monarch Pine. So if you are looking for jewelry or metal blanks, check out her website, monarchpine.com. And make sure to use code Riley Black for 10% off. Patrons get a higher discount though. So
that's right. And to find out that higher discount, if you are a patron, if you're not already part of the TRBP Hangout Facebook group, that's only for patrons, join there. And we also have the Riley Black Project Community Facebook group for our Gen Pop. So if you're not a patron, you can go there, get FOMO, join Patreon, and then head over to TRBP Hangout.
And then by the time this airs, we will be having our After Dark on the 12th, December 12th.
I forgot to start my clock. That's fine. There it is.
There we go.
Yep. We're a little bit rushed because we're on borrowed time. There's a baby.
There's a baby involved.
There's a baby on board. Not here. Over there.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the show. A friend from South Florida before we even moved up here to Sebastian.
Right. They're not in South Florida either, though.
Not anymore. But
yeah.
I mean, I said a friend from there. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Welcome to the show, Lanie and Alex of Hialeah Fine Jewelry. How's it going,
guys?
Hey.
So there is a baby that might need some attention.
Yeah.
So they'll be in and out, kind of like how we do when the boys are out of school.
Right. Yeah.
So bear with us.
Right.
We do what we do when
follow along how you can.
Yeah, when we're business owners with little children.
Right. So I met Lanie. Was it from a mom's group? I think so.
Was it a mom's group?
I think so. And then I think you ultimately ended up getting kicked out of the mom's group, or you left in a fiery
in a hasty fashion.
Right? Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I think it was a mom's group.
Yeah,
and I think so. I remember it was something about, I don't know, t-shirts is what.
Probably. Yeah, because that's what I used to do.
We were going to Disney for our first son's birthday.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And she reached out to you to make some t-shirts. Some like family t-shirts is what it was.
Nice.
Early Riley Black.
Right? Yeah. Oh, that was a long time ago.
Before the podcast, probably before even the Glowforge. Well,
no,
because we were in South Florida.
When we moved here.
Yeah, when we moved. Yeah.
So I had the laser, but I was still doing t-shirts. Yeah. Took me a while to separate from those. So tell me a little bit about your business, and then while the baby is cooperating, we're gonna quickly switch over to kind of how your husband's role came about. So at first, tell us, what do you do?
Well, Hialeah Fine Jewelry is a jewelry company that is focused more on body jewelry, like the fine body jewelry arena. And Hialeah specifically sort of goes to the accessories. So like chains, charms, tassels, not really the stuff that goes through the body, more so just like what we're hanging on it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fine jewelry, cool stuff. Yeah. Drippy gold.
How did you get into that?
Well, I've been a piercer my whole life. I was a piercer for 13 years before I ever made like my first piece of jewelry. And then, like as a piercer, you're in a shop and you're like, is this all I'm going to do? Because you're like taking naps, and then you have like 100 appointments, or you have no money, and then you have a lot of money. And so it was like very wild. And we were having Xander, so our first child. And I wanted to like figure it out. And I'd always had sort of like a large focus on jewelry, being a piercer and the fine jewelry, fine piercing like realm. So it was just like easy to go from piercing and working with the fine jewelry to producing the jewelry.
Right. And did you see like kind of a need for a different type of jewelry? Like, were you? Yeah.
So that's sort of why Hialeah happened. We were it's like me and a couple of friends, like we would see sort of like how the trends were going. And at the time I was like heavily into like I don't know, like punk and like grunge and stuff like that. And for me, the jewelry, as it got better in quality, it also got like grandma-y. You know what I mean? Like, so like we have like diamonds and pearls,
like pretty and frilly. Yeah,
which was cool, and I still think is really cool. But like, I wanted something more. Also, with setups, you would notice like back in the day, like really before Hialeah was like a thing, it was like you would have like the top and maybe a hoop and another top. You didn't really have like the amount of layers that you see in ears, like with the chains draping and the tones and like, you know, you have like either like a really dope top or like a really cool clicker, but never like all the other stuff, you know? So it was like sort of in my mind, one-dimensional.
Yeah.
You know, and then Hialeah came along and, you know, sort of changed the way that we look at like ears.
Yeah.
You know?
So did you have any like jewelry background? Because you actually make the jewelry yourself. You don't like you source pieces of it, right? But you do the assembly.
Yeah, there's a lot of components. Like obviously I'm not a chain maker, you know, like there's like history of chain makers like in Italy and China and, you know, throughout the world where they do that, you know? So like I source a lot of chain, like there's little components, you know, like jump rings and things that I bring in and then I put it all together, weld it or solder it and polish it and then send it out. Yeah.
Yeah. And was that all self-taught?
No. So at first it was, but then you have to go to school at some point, you know, like you have to learn somehow. So I just started taking a lot of classes,
some workshops and then
doing workshops. And there's a really good jeweler school in South Florida that I went to. And here in DeLand, there's like a small, like little artisan school here, but and I still want to take classes. I still have like a lot of things that I want to learn how to do.
Continuing education, basically, because you want to expand on that, and then that's also how you grow, right? If you offer the same thing for forever, then either trends change or they've seen that a million times.
You're going to go away if you don't like learn and evolve, you know, and like grow with whatever's happening. Then you're just going to get ran over,
right?
You know?
Well, so while Alex is here, let's talk about like his background a little bit. So you, with the success of Hialeah, were able to basically retire or quit your retail job and then now work with the business full time. So tell us about like that journey.
So it was really interesting and very different than it's an interesting journey. So I worked for Puma, a major company, for 18 years.
Yeah.
And
wow.
It was around the pandemic time when things opened up and like maybe 6-8 months into like after everything opened up.
Yeah.
We're sitting in the apartment in Fort Lauderdale and we're just like, she just like looked at me one day and was like, I could do this, like quit your job, because she was doing orders online, or she was doing orders at night after Xander went to sleep. And then I would work all day. She was with the baby. And then she just looked at me and she said, I could do this.
Yeah.
And then she's like, just quit your job. And I did put my 2 weeks notice in the next day after 18 years, and everyone was like shook.
Yeah.
I had faith in it. You know, she was like, I won't let us down.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was something cool, right? And it was something different. And it was also an opportunity to like,
you needed the help, right?
I'm sorry?
You had gotten to the point where you needed some help with things.
Well, she couldn't do it.
I don't know how to do.
She couldn't do it. She could only do it at night when after everybody went to sleep.
Right.
So she had like a 9 p.m. to like 3 a.m. window, but then she'd have to be up in the morning with the baby all day.
Right.
While I was at work. But one of the things that struck me, she was saying at the time, was that there was a void in the industry.
Yeah.
And because she was a piercer her whole life.
Right.
She saw different voids and knew how she could fulfill them and fill them in.
Right.
And that was one of the main reasons why we decided to take
He looked at it from like that standpoint, you know, he's like, oh, well,
because
I make it work. I
was more, not necessarily
you found it,
but more on, you know, like, like structured, like, you know, like my day was very structured, like conference calls, training meetings, doing this. And
and you were in management at Puma. And so you obviously, I don't know how much in depth you had of like numbers and stuff, right? But like you knew enough about
P&Ls. I would have to do conference calls with the P&Ls, report where we were at in South Florida and Miami, and then later, like earlier in Orlando, before all of this, we had a lot of global partners come in. So like once a month, every 2 months, I'd had like the CEO of Puma come in with like the European controllers and this, and I have to do presentations with all the numbers. So like I had to know all the analytics of it.
Right.
So he saw the numbers and was like, let's do this.
Well, we kept saying one of our early mantras, it was like F it, like just go back. You could go back to work. You could always get a job. Like, you know what I mean? Like I could get a job. It's not.
I could always go back to piercing. He could always go work at
not necessarily
like,
Puma.
store.
I may have burned that bridge because even though it was 2 weeks notice, it was very like abrupt.
Right. Yeah.
Even still today, one of our mantras is like, whatever, we can just go get a job
like
tomorrow, and like, and that's it. Like it's not like. But I would say one of the bigger challenges for me personally and for Hialeah was managing a team of 18 to 25 people.
Right.
No.
To just being a manager of like one, which was Xander. Because early on in the business, I was more like 95% full-time stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
While she did,
so that she could manage that stuff, and then you took that basically off of her.
Yeah, and I was just a stay-at-home dad, like taking Xander to the playgrounds, to the park.
Right.
She could have time to focus and build and be creative with it.
Right.
And then at night, even still now, but it's doing this where I'm taking over more like the business side of it, and like, you know, doing the websites and the commerce, the e-commerce with the wholesales, and like I pull in from my background, and then obviously YouTube and Google, you know, like filling in the blanks on how to run a business. Because you know, if we were good business owners, we would have been doing this many years ago and have multiple businesses. So like this is all like a learning, evolving situation with us.
Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than the Crazy Laser Dad's Laser Ready Blanks.
Their high-quality blanks are expertly sourced and tested and ready to use on your laser. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time-consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for your customers.
Visit crazylazerdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their laser ready blanks.
The Riley Black Project is sponsored by Monarch Pine.
Monarch Pine is your trusted source for premium laser blanks and jewelry findings. From large loop earring hooks made specifically for acrylic and wood earrings to laser-tested stainless steel necklace and bracelet blanks, they have everything you need to bring your creative ideas to life.
As a maker, you know the value of quality supplies. And that's exactly what Monarch Pine delivers. Whether you're crafting as a hobby or running a full-time business, their products make it easy to design confidently and create stunning pieces.
Head to monarchpine.com and use code RileyBlack to get 10% off your order. Riley Black patrons get an even bigger discount, so don't miss out.
While you're at it, join the Monarch Pine Craft Supply Insiders Facebook group. It's a vibrant community where makers share tips, inspiration, and their incredible creations.
Monarch Pine, where your creativity takes center stage. Visit monarchpine.com and use code RileyBlack today.
Not tomorrow. Today.
Yeah, for sure. I think most small business entrepreneurs, you fall into it for it, you know, in some way, right? Either with a passion that you're like, oh, wait, I can make money doing this, or you get sick of the corporate stuff or COVID. Right. Yeah. And COVID is a lot of what got a lot of our previous guests into it because, you know, when business goes down, right? Or a lot of people lost their job or were laid off or, you know, weren't getting paid. And so they kind of like had to figure it out. No one was hiring during COVID, right? Yeah. So you had to figure out, how am I going to make money when no one's hiring?
Right.
Yeah.
And that kind of like forced figure it out movement is kind of what gets people to be like, oh, well, I know a little bit about this, or I enjoy doing this a little bit. Let's try it. And then it just kind of snowballs. But then the hard part is you get that success, right? But you don't know about, oh, I should have an email list, or
or an
I need
accountant, or like taxes. It's like, like dealing with one of our old accountant tax person. It's like they would ask us, they would get frustrated with us because we didn't know certain things. And I'm like, if I knew taxes, I'd be a CPA. I wouldn't be doing
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they exist.
But that's not my, I could.
Well, I mean, not knowing is why they have a job,
life, but not this. Like,
right?
You pick and choose what you're good at.
Exactly.
And you learn, you learn to pick up things to get it going, and then
for sure.
But going back to it, it was kind of hard, like personally, and like I guess like mental health-ish, like going from managing a team, dealing with people in Europe and New York and Boston, like vice presidents and corporates daily,
right?
Making a difference to like, all right, I'm just out with one human being and my wife, so.
Well, and you're in the house.
Yeah, it was very different. Like, I mean, I'd go like a week without speaking to another adult. Like it was a very interesting roles that were changed, and I had to navigate that. And obviously, my wife, like Lanie, she helped me,
right?
Like navigate that and gave me space to like figure things out.
Yeah,
and then like because I got a little bit too more, and it's not. I was very focused and doing more with our kids.
Yeah.
And less with the business. And then now, it's starting to shift over where it's like taking it to the next level.
Yeah. Well, and how was that for you seeing, the success of your wife's business, and then also being able to find a role within that business so that you can not only just, take off some of the like parenting role, but actually also take off some of the business responsibilities as well?
Well, the business responsibilities has been like adding on like, more responsibilities and taking away from her. It's opens her mind better so she could just focus on being creative. Right. And not have to worry about the emails, not have to worry about responding, not have to worry about people not knowing how to get their passwords reset with the website. Right. So like, I like that because I'm finding my role within the company and expanding on little bits that I like to do, but also seeing it like open up her mind and her window to be more creative, build more, which is where, like the root of our company is.
Yeah. Because if she's just churning out orders all the time and not able to like be creative, one, like when you're in a creative business, if all you're doing is pumping out orders, you kind of lose the reason you got into it in the first place. Was you found joy in it, you liked being creative, you liked trying something new, you liked, making that statement piece that none of the other maybe jewelry companies were really focusing on. So and emails and orders and all that can kind of like suck the life out of you sometimes.
Yeah, a lot. So. It's like she doesn't, she always says she only has so much space in her brain to remember, certain things. And like, if I could free up some of those little clusters, it just helps it. But then it's interesting. So within all of that, like she's built in like certain like products and certain drops. So like we'll do a thing where, people order like a drip, a $500 drip, $1,000 drip, which is kind of how we started. Like people would just, here's $1,000, make me whatever you want.
Okay.
And like, so she just starts creating new pieces and doing all this stuff. And that's evolved. And then certain pieces people would ask for more. So she would start making, like some of those
kind of like a good way to test it out.
Yeah. To test it if it doesn't hit or if it hits. And and then that's just, well, she's saying everything hits, but it was just that, like going back to it, it's a little wild in the early stages before we had like Shopify.
Yeah.
It was through PayPal and it was through like contacts and like she's been in industry long enough.
Right.
But like literally she'd be like, yeah, give me $500, give me $1,000. We didn't have a website. We didn't have anything. Right. It was just like photographing Instagram and stories, and people trusted it because they knew
her. Yeah,
they knew her. And then when they would receive the product, they would sell it because we do wholesale.
Yeah.
So we, deal directly with the piercers, the owners, the shops, and then they do their markup. And it's, I look at it as she doesn't this part. I look at it as a win-win because we win, and then our customer wins because they sell it, they make money, and then their client wins. So the wholesale is an interesting business because if you do it right, everybody's eating. You know, everybody's like getting their little pieces. But going back to we have a couple items called the drips, where she gets really creative and just like does some like really interesting things. And then that also led us into doing drops, where we do like quarterly drops, where we pre-make a whole bunch of jewelry in between doing all of our orders. We make some jewelry, squirrel it aside, and then we go on our website and we promote it. And then like the next one's going to be February 3rd at noon Eastern time, Florida. And they go on the website, everything's there. They order. It usually sells out in like 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you have a set quantity that you guys make of those, or is it just depends on the intricacy of the design?
It's as many. So like there's a little bit of like touch and go where like our clients are like, well, I'm waiting on our order. You're working on our drop. But we do it in between, like on Saturdays and Sundays. You know, when we're kind of bored, but we're sitting around, like she'll go back in the studio and work on a bunch of pieces before and after. So we're not taking away from our existing client.
Hey guys, how great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape the 9-to-5 and embrace a lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Above and Beyond webinar, where you'll learn how you can make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon Laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head on over to eonlaser.us/whyus and sign up for the Above and Beyond webinar today.
Thanks for listening. Laser on.
Bye.
Are you tired of endlessly joining jump rings?
There's gotta be an easier way.
Are your wrists aching after numerous orders? Introducing Keychain Thingies, the time-saving solution for anyone making keychains.
It's so fast and easy.
These revolutionary plastic thingies make large or multiple orders a snap. So easy, even a child can do it.
That was so easy.
So what are you waiting for? Go to keychainthingies.com and order now. Keychain Thingies will change your life. However, they should not be used to cure any medical ailments, repair broken relationships, or help lose weight. Do not use Keychain Thingies unless you want to save time and aggravation.
That's a good time to talk about how, so you guys were in South Florida and you've moved a couple times, and you were in basically, you were in a condo before this, right?
Correct, yeah.
And she was kind of working on like almost like the patio-ish, or
I can send you photographs. I don't know if you insert them, you know, like I don't know how you guys get it. Like that. We can send you photographs. Yeah, it was like a little balcony with like the desk, and there's like pictures of us, and it's just actually before that when we were in Dania, in the very early infants, she was pregnant, like almost in like active labor, rolling seam rings and cutting them in like this little like front. I forgot about Dania, and it's this little front room. And then like a couple of days later, her water breaks, you know, and like go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And then comes out.
People were emailing about their order.
Yeah, people were emailing about the order.
Of course they were. They have no shame.
Well, it's in their defense, you know, they could have an owner pressuring them or their clients.
Well, and they may not know, right? Yeah, you know, if they haven't.
I get it. Like they have to make their own money. They're putting money out, or like it's an investment. But yeah. So we started there. That was really, really small. But then when we were very brief in Plantation in the condo, it was like an enclosed balcony.
Right.
It was glass, and we had it there. And like every couple months, we would like rearrange it to try to maximize space. Like, let's move the desk over here. Let's hang a bar and like do, you know, like we're getting very
trying to make it work.
With a very small space. And then we sold that. We were able to sell our condo, and we knew we wanted to move to Central Florida. And then we rented a house in DeBerry. Again, like we knew we were going to rent before we bought, but we had very specifics with like a studio space.
Yeah.
Right.
We were there, and it was actually worked out really well, but it was a rental. We were there
Yeah.
like 7-8 months.
Mhm.
And then we found our house here in DeLand that has not only like our personal thing, but our for the work, a detached 2-car garage.
Nice.
That's 100% Hialeah. I don't know the square footage, but whatever,
Right.
like
Right. Yeah.
2 cars and like what
Yep.
normally would have like a little.
Yep.
Again, we could send you some photos if you like
Yeah.
insert them. She's saying like about 900 square feet.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, that's about what we're into.
Yep.
That's just Hialeah.
Yeah.
And then even that's evolving. Like right now, we have like a little corner of it with our old couch and a coffee table and a TV. So we want our kids to be part of,
Mm-hmm.
where we spend time, and so they can be part of our world as well.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, because we keep saying Hialeah. And for
Oh, yeah,
those
he
who don't
asked me.
know, for those who don't
I
know,
told you it was him.
Hialeah isn't only the name of their company, but Hialeah is very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
as
okay,
a kid,
see?
I would always go to Hialeah. Hialeah is a city in Miami. That is
Okay. She could tell you
grand.
exactly why, but yeah, it's interesting because it's a city, but
It's a
the
vibe.
people
country.
the people that get Hialeah, like even here
It's
in
a
DeLand, which is
lifestyle.
like 30 minutes north of Orlando,
Mhm.
people have been there, or random people are born in Hialeah. Like it used to
Right.
be like a trucking area, so
Yep.
there's weird connections, but the joy when people are like, oh, like Hialeah, I've been there before. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you've been there, you understand.
Right.
It's like a very special place
Mhm.
Yeah.
in the world, within Florida, within South Florida,
It's its
within
own
Miami,
little world. Yeah.
and that's where I was born and raised. I was born and
Nice.
raised in Hialeah.
What
And
part?
then my wife always says something about what was it?
Well, do you wanna
Yeah,
do it?
we're gonna swim. Well, she's gonna come in here and she could tell you a little bit about that,
yeah.
and then you could deal that, and then I'll try to come back in and you can get both of us. But
Where in Hialeah did you grow up?
it was off of the Palmetto in 122nd.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I went to
by
Milam
Palm-
Elementary.
Right by Palmetto Hospital.
Yes, that's where I was
Yeah.
born at the Yeah, it was like
Nice.
on the other side of the highway, like the Palmetto, the hospital, the highway. Then we're like right there.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
But I didn't go to high school there. I would have gone to Hialeah, Miami Lakes,
Oh, okay.
like that. If that
HML.
makes sense, like
Yep.
where I was. But it's a very special city to me,
Mhm.
and like if
Yeah.
you've been there,
Yeah.
And like I said, as weird as it is, like people have connections to it. It's a city within a city. It's a very interesting. Excuse me one second.
Yeah.
All right, go.
It was the one place. Isn't that where I went to Taco Bell and I
Yeah.
couldn't order because
Right,
she
because
didn't
they
speak
didn't speak
English?
English.
That's
Yeah,
like
English.
me.
English
Oh, I went
is
to a gas station. I tried to buy a vape, and the lady was like cussing me out in Spanish. And I looked at the guy behind me, and I was like, "What's this chick's problem?"
yeah.
Yeah.
For
He's like,
those of
"You're
you
trying to talk to her in English."
right,
And
for
I was
those
like,
who
"What does that
don't
mean?"
know, in Hialeah, English is the second language.
It is.
It is very
I'm fine with that.
Cuban
You
heavy.
know what vape means. Don't tell me.
We're at Taco Bell. I'm like, we don't need to have a conversation. I can say number 7
No,
and
you
then
have
I
to
get
say
my
siete.
food.
That's the
So
problem.
They have to know like the
Say siete. 6, 7.
So you guys are asking why Hialeah?
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
well, okay, I'm Florida as fuck, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to have a name for the company that wasn't just like Florida Fine Jewelry. You
Right.
know what I mean? I wanted something that sounded pretty,
Yeah.
but also like had maybe like a double meaning, like a little bit like me as a person, right? You see all of this on the outside, but underneath and in between, there's like all of this like beauty and chaos and like, just like everything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Sorry. But yeah, so Hialeah, it was like easy. He's a proud person from Hialeah, and
Yeah.
the word is so pretty. And it's
Right.
funny because before I went there, I was like, wow, it sounds so nice, like Hialeah. I bet it's like Coral Gables, like
Not
just
at all.
some, And then he's like, yeah, babe, just like that. And we go there, and I'm like, this place is awesome. This is not what I thought it was like at all. This reminds me of like my family's home, like
Yeah.
Louisiana, it was
Yeah.
like the same kind of thing. And it was just pretty sounding.
Yeah.
And it also had like a super like vibey vibe, like the city and the people and all of it. So it just seemed I don't know, fitting.
Yeah. So when you were a piercer, were you technically an independent contractor, or did you work were you like an employee of the shops you worked for typically?
Okay, so like both, right? Like it depends on like how the studio has it structured. I worked for a company at one point that had like multiple studios, and I've also worked for like a tattoo shop where you're like a shop in shop.
Right.
Almost. So it's like, because
I like a hairstylist.
Yeah, I mean, I went by like Pretty Penetrations, so it'd be like Pretty Penetrations at, awesome. Like, you know, you know what I mean? So it was like that, and it was also where I was an employee.
Right. Okay. So how was the shift for you? Because I mean, being a piercer, you are, and working for like a tattoo shop, right?
Yeah.
It is. I guess it's similar. Well, it's similar to entrepreneurship, right? So when I worked at my corporate job, I actually worked at a tattoo shop like every other Saturday to give the front girl like a break, right? And it was extra money for me and whatever. And it's honestly, I think, probably a good. I give some credit to it because, and why I became an entrepreneur. And why, when I quit my corporate job, I knew I was not going to go to a corporate stuffy job
I ain't going
again.
back.
Literally. Because, like, I experienced the tattoo shop that, like, it was a family. It was fun, you know, and there was more freedom, and, you know, it was just not so stuffy. Like, I was the girl in accounting who had tattoos and a tongue ring, and, you know, I didn't fit in with all the old ladies in accounting who were like high school. You know, the tattoo shop was like fun, and like I was like, if I ever go back to a regular job, it's going to be somewhere like that where, like, you know, so how was it like shifting?
So there was no shift, right? Like, so I grew up, I never had a job that I had to like wake up for. I never had like a dress code.
Nice.
As a matter of fact, like I've worked in only environments where like if I didn't like somebody that was there, I'd be like, fuck you. And so could you imagine if I had to like work at like Ross? Like,
oh God.
Right, like, you know, it would be like an issue. I have no home training when it comes to jobs at all. Like, I grew up in a tattoo shop. That was my first job ever. You know what I mean? I was way too young to be in tattoo shops. Then I started working at one, and my boss was like some douchebag. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that I could tell was a douchebag, you know, and there was no... So, I mean, I've always been an entrepreneur in that aspect, that every dollar that I've really ever made in my entire life has been made off of my own work. I've never clocked in somewhere. I've had to go to work to produce the work. So it's like really normal for me. I don't know if I would be okay with having to work somewhere hourly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brain, I'm just not wired that way.
Right. Well, and doing it that way, you kind of built the foundation to Hialeah, right? And you finding success in that is not necessarily a surprise, because like you were almost preparing for this moment since, you know, the first job, right?
Yeah, and my whole life led up to it, really. Like everything, like even who I was as a little girl influences jewelry that I make today. Like I pull from every aspect of who I am to even how I communicate with like clients when they're mad at me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, my entire background for everything I've ever done has just kind of been like my hustle.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So yeah, I it's a lot different than Alex, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see like in the tattoo shop, it's almost like you're constantly surrounded by entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Because the artists themselves, even if they do work, like you said, it depends on the studio and how they're structured.
Right.
But even if it's structured in an employee kind of setting, they're artists onto themselves. And if
I mean, if the shop's not making money and you're there, shops are going to look at the lowest hanging fruit, right? Like when things get, that's why it's like, like counter people. That wasn't like really a thing when I was a piercer, right? Because like the piercer is the one that would answer the phone and like hustle people in the door, right? Like, so like this guy's getting tattooed. I'm going to try and get his wife to get her nose pierced. Like, let's see how we could do this. You know what I mean? And that's just like, so like I hated when a counter person came in. I hated when somebody like stopped, was like a barrier between the hustle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's why wholesale is like difficult for me because like I'm not talking to the client or like the end customer.
Right.
But somehow I have to convey Hialeah and the vibe and everything to that end person. But I also have to have the piercer understand it and feel it. You know what I mean? Because like if you look at it's like, it's like orange, it's like some dangly stuff, it's like this loud girl behind it, it's like fucking you know what I mean? It's like all this stuff, but if you're not about it, then you're not about it. Like I don't really want to sell you, to be honest. Like
you're not my customer.
Like I'm about it too, and we could be about it, you know.
Now is it solely to studios, or do you sell to the individual as well?
So we don't do any retail. I'm eventually going to be looking into a retail type of arena. But right now, like I am for the piercers, by the piercers. I want to serve piercers because me being a piercer, I know where not only jewelry companies are lacking when it comes to style, but when it comes to customer service, when it comes to quality. If you're a studio and you just don't have a lot of money and you're like a new studio, like I've offered consignment for studios. Like, okay, well, I'll send you jewelry, send it to me as you make it. Like, or you're in another country, you can't really afford like all the shipping and all of this. Like, I'll give you free shipping. I'll throw, you know what I mean? Like it's always for the piercers because I was that piercer. I didn't have a lot of access to fine jewelry and really dope jewelry, you know? And so for me, it's always important to have that with the piercer. And even when I move, eventually when Hialeah finds a space in retail, we will still be heavily
focused.
Piercer driven, right? Like I probably eventually will have a space where I'm piercing and probably working with Hialeah jewelry, but also having other piercers and other small companies like Hialeah in our studio.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, kind of like collaborating because like you can't do everything, and then there's things that like you may appreciate the creativity in it, but it's not like your style or something you want to make, right?
Yeah,
like
I mean there's a lot of stuff that I don't know how to do, like flat out I just don't know how to do. So if another company can fill my void within my studio, and but that's the whole beauty of Hialeah, right? Like I'm not saying like we're like the greatest end all be all company, but like if you want some dope drippy things, like that's where I come in. And then there's other studios, or other companies that do like insane clickers, like insane tops. Like I'm staying in my lane. I'm just doing the dangly bits. You know what I mean?
What's a clicker?
I'm just doing that because that's what I know how to do. And yeah, it'll evolve and change and all of that. But right now I'm making what I'm making because that is my skill set. And things will grow and change and get better. Or maybe to some people, they'll think it gets worse as I learn how to do things, you know?
So what's a clicker? For
a clicker, so like in my nose, it's like a steam ring, but it like instead of it opening like this, it opens with a latch.
Oh, okay.
Up top, so you could just like put it through the hole and like it clicks down into it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. See, I don't know how to make those. Okay, I can't. I mean, well, I do know. I know how to make them, but to do it,
practice and actually produce them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. I wanted to talk about too how basically you've done one conference, but also every drop that you've done, you sell out of. And your conference, you sold out how quickly?
Dude,
it was hours.
Honestly,
wasn't
I blacked the fuck out.
I
don't know. I don't know exactly what happened that day, that week, and, you know. But so. Piercers are unlike other people. You know what I'm saying? Like when they go hard for a person, like, and they go hard, you know? And so like the piercers were so happy to see me. I was one of them. I was making jewelry that they wanted to see.
Yeah.
I was something new and different. I wasn't some like corporate weirdo, you know, that came into the body jewelry space. I was like one of them. So, and it was my first time vending. So they were going to
support
me, you know? And like, I'm standing there and they're fucking running at me. It was pregnant, running at me.
Yeah.
I thought somebody like pulled the fire alarm. It was insane. I was like, what's happening? And my friend's like, it's for you. And I was like,
right? It's both, exciting and terrifying at the same time. Like, you know, so we've done a couple conferences for our stuff. And when you see like the line of people and you're like, they're here like for me, for
like,
our stuff,
Right.
for like what? And it's crazy. And then like just the constant flow, it's both absolutely amazing, but
insane,
also exhausting, because it's like you just
think about it. It took me a literal year and a half to make this jewelry. And a half to make the jewelry.
Prep is
so it took me a year and a half to make jewelry, and then the first day of like 4 days for vending, the first day I'm sold out. And so I'm like, I didn't make enough jewelry. Like,
right.
Like a year and a half. Like I'm what a bum. Like how did I not make enough jewelry for this? Like and people are like, what do you got? And I'm like, oh, you can take that.
Right.
You know? But so I mean, it's amazing. And I'm obviously super blessed, but really it's just like a testament to the industry that we work in. You know, and they're awesome.
This year you weren't able to do the conference.
No.
And why was that?
Because I had baby number 2.
Because she was having a whole secret pregnancy.
Well, okay, so it was a secret, but really, once you reach a certain, like, okay, people who are buying not that they don't want to know, but like, I don't want to hear about other people's babies. Like, not for nothing. Like, I care about you. I care about the baby. We hope the best for the baby, but like, where's my jewelry? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where's my order?
Like, I didn't want to do the whole, like, here's my baby shower. Here's the baby. Look at my husband. I'm getting fat. Look at my neck. Like the whole thing. So I just, and it was actually way more peaceful. And it wasn't just about the customers. It was more so for like our own privacy in our family, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome. But okay, so this is how the year went. Coming off the tails of completely selling out at conference, boom in customers, right? I have my assistant who's like 6-7 months into working for me. She's going good. This year comes, I'm super pregnant. My assistant quits. We have the baby. We're still in like the height of everything from conference, all the new accounts, the drops that we've been having, like super big explosion. And I'm like, I gave birth in the bathroom last week. You know what I mean? Like for real. And, you know, I'm sitting there making jewelry the next day, you know? But yeah, I mean, what is life, right? Like you just do it. Like, what else would I be doing? I'm trying to have a good time. You know, I want to pack as much as I can into this life thing. Yeah. And I'm not gonna let, like, having a business stop me from having a family.
Right.
Either.
Yeah.
You know, so
my second pregnancy, I was so sick and miserable the whole pregnancy that like I made stuff here and there like as I could, but I had basically shut off all orders. We were still doing the podcast, but it was a lot of complaining if I probably go back and listen because I was just so miserable. But then after I had him, 4 days later, I was in my like office like making shit and like ready to like get back to it, you know, because well, that's the biggest thing about Hialeah is like it's really is like, I mean, selfishly enough, like it's my passion project. You know what I mean? Like it's literally you love doing it.
But everyone around me, if you think about it, like my husband quit his job so like his wife could like make things, you know what I mean? Like wild, but like all these people around me are supporting me in pursuing my dreams, you know, and like pursuing, like chasing this artistic vision that I have, you know, and like, so I'm lucky. I can have a family. I have a husband. I have a business. Like what, like kill me now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You know? And so like now it's just sustaining it all, and maybe not even sustaining, maybe letting some of it, you know, and then just create and watch my family flourish and, you know.
Well, and just going through, I love how with working for yourself that you can kind of ebb and flow through life, right? So like there was times where we were really going through it with our oldest, and those times, because a lot of time, you know, after he went to bed was when I would work, but it was such a long day. By the time I got his ass to bed, I was so mentally and physically fried that I'm like, there's no creativity left for me to go in there and make stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me it was like that, but also like I'm kind of a little bit of a maniac in a way that like I don't rest well. You know what I mean? So like even as like a pregnant person, I'm like active
doing
labor,
too much.
Like, I'm just like, I'm like a little crackheady, you know what I mean? So like, I'm always going. So it's like very fitting that like I would work literally until I'm giving birth. And then the next day, like stitches, everything, I'm like at the bench, you know what I mean?
And how awesome for you though, that like having that drive, right? And it would be such a disservice to you and to your family if you put all of that amazing energy into someone else's business.
Yeah, I mean, that would be crazy. Could you imagine all the money I would make for that jerk off?
Right? Exactly.
No, I mean, but that's the thing is like even working at tattoo shops, and I know like it's funny because like when I've worked with other tattooers, they were like, I made the most amount of money when I worked with you, and it was because like just natural born. I mean, I feel like as a kid, I was like I was doing piercings at the flagpole in middle school. You know what I mean? Like I was finding a way, you know, in jail, I was doing tattoos, you know what I mean? Like for commissary, like I will always find my way. Like the hustle won't stop, you know?
Slanging snacks in elementary school.
1,000%, you know? And I'm like swindling teacher, you know, but you know, so like I mean, just who I am as a person, like it would be a real shame, but it would be a gift to another person.
Right.
Luckily for me, like I can't work for another person. You know what I mean? Like it just it's never been successful. Even tattoo shop owners that I worked for, those relationships had to end in friendships. It was like, I don't know if we could work together, but I love you.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my shop.
Right. Well, I've been there too. Like I worked when I, after quitting and us moving to Florida and me working for myself, I did temporarily like work at my friend's like acrylic shop. And that kind of made sense because it was within the industry. I was helping out my friend. I was making some additional money while I figured out like my lane. Right. But then eventually I was like, all right, even though she's my friend, I'm still working for someone else. And my file shop was doing so well that I was able to, you know, leave it. But like the other day we were talking and it was one of those like rough days for like sales and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, all right. He's like, go find a job. And I was like, I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I'm too feral now.
Especially now that because you've seen both.
Yes.
I've never seen the other, like,
girl, it's not pretty.
I've never filled out an application.
It's not good.
What do you say to them? Like, yeah, I'm a felon. What? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, and
where am I working? You know,
the interview process, the hours, the working hard, you know, and then the responsibilities always go up, and then the pay doesn't always match it.
Alex
you know,
doing that. You know what I mean? Like he was working 60 hours away from the family. I'm like whittling away at my gold bits, crying, wishing for my husband to be there. You know, and he's like doing these awesome store openings in New York City and like hanging out with Rihanna, and I'm like. Can you?
Right? Come home.
I got these gold orders.
Work.
Right. Right.
Well,
and
that was
over there, like having the time. And I mean, that's why it was probably really hard for him, you know, to go from that to that. But like for me, it was always like, I used to sit outside the tattoo shop on the bench because if I could just grab somebody walking down the sidewalk, I was going to get them. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody happened to get in a conversation with me at the gas station, they're coming to the shop. You know what I mean? Yeah, someone's laying there getting tattooed, and I'm like pressuring them into getting their tongue pierced. Like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll sign.
I know you've always wanted your nose piercing. Maybe today's the day.
Right here, you don't have to move. You don't have to do anything.
No, on that one, there was a funny one. Like a couple of people were getting tattooed. This one, we lived in Tampa, and I went by the shop. 2 people getting tattooed, and their friends were in the lobby just like waiting. She's like, "What? You're not getting tattooed?" And like, "Oh, we can't afford a tattoo." She's like, "Get your nose pierced, get your tongue pierced." You know, like, like you want to be left out of the party. Like everybody's gonna get something.
Like, don't be lame,
right?
Like, "Oh, I'll do my ear, I'll do my nose," you know, and then next thing you know, she's like hustling extra money.
Yeah, I love it.
But really, it's just like all I've ever known, right? Like I grew up in like a very interesting sort of household. Dynamic. My dad raised me, so you know, and he's like a redneck biker, like, you know, and so it was like you got to figure it out quick, you know, and so I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I mean, we were in like I could always just go work somewhere. I could try and work somewhere. I could always go back,
right?
You know, but like I'm doing this and it's cool and I like it and I'm glad my family's doing it. I always tell Xander, I'm like, as soon as it's legal, you're gonna be my employee. He's like, oh. I'm being serious.
Yeah, right. Well, JR's asking, so
well, you guys have a fun job. I'm like masked up. I have like my stuff on. I have like I'm like blackface and nails and like.
Again, like when we were in Vegas, like Xander had his lanyard. He was talking to clients.
His side of the work.
Xander was like talking to clients, giving out stickers, people in line.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
He was like talking to everybody, like, and he was in it, like.
Yeah.
And
he's like, can I have a hug?
Some of those memories, you know, like they're gonna like us, like setting up our booth and Xander on the floor with his like switch.
He was under the table while we were selling
his, like,
out.
Little switch and like.
That's awesome.
You know, that's part of what it is, right?
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Well, I mean, he wanted to wear our shirt to the park this weekend. He's like, you know, every time we go to the park, we see 5 or 10 people, and I'm going to tell them they need to come to the studio. And I was like, and this is not like we haven't like done. He's just watched us because like we've never been like, hey, go sell this to your friends at the park.
Why not? You need to get him on it.
Like, you know,
he's already on it.
For like the December, you know, like a lot of the schools, they do like the little craft like sale. Like, you know, we can make some jewelry out of like plastic, you know, like acrylic or like, you know, like, and like he's into
it.
Yeah. I love it.
That's awesome. So before we head over to Patreon, where can people find you?
HialeahFineJewelry.com is our website. Hialeah Fine Jewelry at Instagram and Facebook, Hialeah Fine Jewelry.
And then like on our website, because it is for we do sell wholesale.
Right.
On the top, we added a store locator or shop locator.
Nice.
Okay.
And you can click on it, open a map. I think there's 358 active studios all over the world, from Australia, New Zealand, Russia, Vietnam.
I love that.
Europe,
right?
Islands.
It's so fancy.
All over England, Spain. You know, like obviously the U.S., Canada. We have a handful in Alaska and Hawaii.
That's awesome.
Okay.
And those are all like, there's like 358 like active studios.
Yeah.
So they could click on that and then they could bug their person.
Yeah. So like if you don't have a wholesale account and you're just like a person like wanting to get some jewelry, you just go on our website. You can look at the jewelry.
Well, they can message us.
Well, you can't see pricing. And then you can go on the interactive map. You can hover over your area or where you might be like visiting. Or maybe you want to travel to a piercer or whatever. So you can find them on the map. And those are all the people that hold accounts with us who either have jewelry or can order jewelry on your behalf at the size you need it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Or some people like email us or DM us. They don't realize it says us too.
Right.
You know, so like DM us and like,
they're like, we love the Hialeah team.
And it's like 3 in the morning and it's like somebody in Europe or something. And I'm like, well, you know, like this shop, like what area are you at? You know, where are you? Sometimes I guide them to it, you know, but now that we have the store locators. Hold on,
he's freaking out.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll keep the conversation going over on Patreon.
Hold on, it doesn't get spicy in the Patreon. The pay, it's not.
Is it like?
I mean, it gets as spicy as you want it to.
Yeah, we can keep it. We do need more subscriptions. So
right.
I mean, she does have nice feet. I don't know.
Right, listen.
Like I said, I don't know with the pay thing. You know, if it gets like different.
No, we're good.
I mean, listen. So you guys are gonna have to go to Patreon and find out for yourselves how spicy it's going to get. But for now, the life update's coming up next. And life update time.
Woohoo! So hopefully that was a nice little like change of pace.
Yeah.
You know, we mostly stick to laser businesses, but sometimes I like to branch out and just kind of see how other small businesses get into like their lane and like how they find like what it is for them, because I feel like even though it's a different industry, right, and she doesn't own a laser yet, it's something she's actually considered, but I hope you can still learn stuff from their journey, from like how they got going.
Yeah, and she's still a maker,
right?
Even though she doesn't have a laser,
she just makes
or
different
what, she just makes
things.
things out of she just makes jewelry.
Right. She has a laser welder.
Yeah, so there's that little bit, but and it's a very similar story, and it's cool to see other industries mirror kind of like our own, and how other industries do also start like as hobbies or in your space,
and the supplier side too, of how there's the bigger companies,
right,
and then there's little companies come in, see a gap, and they're like, I can fill that, and then they kind of muscle their way in of like, hey, there's room for me too, and I'm not a big corporation,
right, and then how things like in our stuff, like tariffs and stuff like that affect us, and in her space, prices of gold and stuff like that affect her bottom line as well.
Right.
So there's a lot that like kind of what is it called that translates.
Yeah.
There's a lot that translates
for sure.
So so if you're a patron member,
yes,
it's Thanksgiving,
the day after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys have full bellies.
Yeah.
Full
hearts
with a lot of what is it? Gratitude.
Yeah.
Thankfulness.
And even though this is going to come out, early December for, general Gen Pop.
Right. Christmas is around the corner.
Yeah. But we just wanted to, say thank you guys.
Yes.
Every free listener, every paid listener. If you've liked a story, shared a story, watched on YouTube, active in the Facebook group, attended an After Dark, said hi to us at a conference, or told us that you enjoy watching us or our content. We really, really appreciate you guys. We would not be. What episode is this?
This is 239, I think.
That's insane.
238, 39. I think it's 39.
Okay, that's
it's hard.
We got to do something for like 250, because that's crazy.
Well, luckily you're making things now.
That's true.
So maybe we'll have a giveaway.
Yeah, I have a whole tub of things to give away that I just always forget exists until I find more things. But just again, we would not be doing this. We would not be continually recording weekly episodes if you guys weren't listening and watching and giving us great feedback. So, we're always open. If there's something that we're not doing or that you want to see, let us know.
Yep.
We are looking for additional sponsors
coming up
next year.
Yep.
This year has just been so crazy. I haven't made it a priority as much, but we're looking for the monthly new patron sponsors, and then we're also looking for a couple of ad sponsors. So if you're interested in that, just slide into our DMs or TRBP_podcast@outlook.com. But yeah. All in all, very, very thankful for all of you. Our life update is I'm making a ton of shit. So, and I'm having actually a lot of fun doing it. I did a full wrap tumbler for the first time, engraved yesterday, with the help of our friend Robin Farrow and Kristen Thompson. And then I proceeded to make 3 more. So I made a total of, I did 1 full wrap, and I was like, all the full wraps.
Yeah.
I'm prepping for a show on December 7th, which will be the day before this episode comes out.
For Gen Pop.
And yeah, I'm having a good time, and I hope that it brings some dollars in, but then also makes people smile, and that they get to buy some cool things.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of riding this ride and figuring out what 2026 is going to look like.
And I don't want to bring this to a huge halt, and I don't want to like really make it a bummer.
Oh, you're going to bring. Okay.
I got to.
I know.
We got to update, you know, things aren't as great with Mario. So just think of his family.
Yeah.
And
if you're the praying type.
Yeah.
Pray for him.
And we'll just leave it at that. We'll get into it some other time. But for now, it's been another great episode of the Rally Black Project. Crystal and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done. The Rally Black Project. Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Nino, I'm recording.